Good morning, everybody. How are you? Get my coffee poured. And today I've got something really exciting to show you. I think it's super duper exciting. I do have a pick scan mat that we can use, but I'm not going to use it for this in case you want to do the same thing and you don't have the mat. So all you're going to do is you're going to take any stamp, any rubber stamp that you have. I couldn't find my piece of acrylic that I usually use, so I just stuck it down on this little ruler, one of these little rulers that you can get for quilting or whatever, and that worked perfectly, so I didn't have to keep looking for it. So what I did then was I stamped it, and I'll show you. Hold on. But this is what I ended up with, these. And they have a perfect offset around them. I hope you can see that. When I stamped them, obviously they did not, but I'm going to use my Cameo, my Silhouette software, to show you how to do that. So, join me up here at my screen and let's get started. Okay, I have some little notes here and I'll go through them so that I make sure I don't miss any steps that I've figured out that we need to do. So the first thing you'll do is just open up your Silhouette software, and again, you can use this for your Cricut machine. Get this software. You will love, love, love using it for your Cricut. I have links for it down below. You'll get the free version first, and after you download and install that, then go back if you're using a Cricut and get the business edition. Again, there's a link for it down below and it's on sale right now. So grab it quick. It's a one-time fee and you own it on your computer. So anyway, the first thing that you're going to do is going to come up here to the page setup panel up here on the upper right hand side. Click on that to open the page setup panel. The next thing you're going to do is this. Notice it says the machine is my auto Cameo, and just leave it set like that. Cutting mat is my Cameo. I'm going to change my media size because the size of the paper that I'm using, the cardstock I'm using, is letter size, or 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to change it to that. Okay, the next important thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add the registration marks onto this. So again, if the page setup panel is not open, you just come up here to the page setup panel, click on it, and click the third button over. That adds the registration marks. Okay, right now they're off, as you can see here, but I can toggle it to be on just like that, and there are my registration marks. And that's the secret of using or doing this project. There's a few more really handy tips you need to know though, so don't go away yet. So the next thing you do is this. You come up here to File, Print, and you're just going to print this sheet with the registration marks, just like that, and say Print. And I've already printed mine, so then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, as you can see, the next thing that I've done is that here's the printed version of it, and you can see the registration marks right here. And then I just got out some black ink. This isn't the best black ink to use, but I'm going to use it because it's actually all I have. And I'm going to ink up my little flower by just dabbing, and I'm not the best rubber stamper because I never really got into stamps that much. Do have a few of them, but I know some of you probably have a ton and you'd like to get your money's worth out of them. So this is just a fabulous way to do it where you don't have to buy any more products to do this project. All you need is a scanner or probably your phone. I just haven't tried it with the phone yet. So after I've inked it up, I'll just press it down on here and stay within the registration marks. Kind of press it down a couple seconds and then lift it up. Nice. Okay, I'll do several of these. Okay, that's probably enough to give you the idea. I do need to show you something here. As you can see, this one didn't stamp very well, and so it won't trace very well either. So what I usually do in this case, before I go ahead and trace these or scan them, I look for any openings in the image, and I just color it in with a little skinny micron marker. I just use these little micron markers, and any marker will do. So I just look where there might be openings. Like sometimes I know sometimes in here it doesn't close up properly and looks a little weird there. So I'm just making sure that all these things are closed. Okay. That looks pretty good. This one over here, I notice, like I said, I'm just not that good of a rubber stamper. You probably won't have all these things happen to yours, but I want to make sure that every one of these is going to cut out well. So good. All right, so that looks pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and scan this into my scanner and bring it into my software. Okay, everyone's scanner is different, so I didn't actually show you how to do it with mine. You'll have to figure out how to do your scanner to scan an image into your computer. When mine was scanned in, it came into the picture folder on my computer, and it was this one right here, image number 2. I had already done image number 1, and my scanner just automatically names them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this up, and I'm going to remember it's in my pictures folder, because I'm going to come up here and go to File, Merge, because I want to merge it into the exact same workspace that I'm working in. I'll come over here to Pictures, and there's image 2. I'll say OK or double click it, and it comes in perfectly just like that. Now I might want to align it a little bit like that. Okay, easy peasy. So what I did was I just aligned the rotation marks, or not the registration marks, that I copied and printed with the registration marks that are already here on my mat. And I can use my arrow keys if I want to move it over just ever so slightly. The arrow keys on my keyboard. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go ahead and trace these, because I want to add an offset to them. So I'll come over here to the trace panel, the one that we use all the time. It looks like a little butterfly. And I'm going to say select the trace area. Okay, and I'm going to draw a box around this stuff. Get a nice trace so I can zoom in if I want to see if I'm getting a nice trace. And you remember those places that I fixed with the pen, there are no longer any crazy openings there. There's a weird looking place right there, but it should be okay. We'll see. So I can up my threshold if I feel I need to, and that can sometimes close in some of those spots. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say trace and detach. And when it's done working, it'll end up looking like this. So now I scrolled back out. I'm going to take the large sheet and get rid of it. This sheet, and just delete it. Okay, now I'm left with these individual ones, and I want to make sure I don't move them at all. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of them, and if I see any stray little boxes, now's the time to get rid of them. This time I don't really see any, but sometimes there are some little boxes that I need to delete. But this looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is come to the offset panel and just say offset. And look at that, I made an offset around every single one of those. And I think I'll make it a little smaller this time. Well, I think I'll leave it the same because I'm going to use these on a card. I'm going to color them with my markers or my colored pencils, all different colors, and put them on a card, maybe pop dot some up. I've got some fun ideas to do. So I'm just going to say apply. You know what? Before I did that, though, I'm going to do one more thing. So let's go back. Right now, when I have them all selected, before I've added the offset, I'm going to right click and say group. And it's going to make it a lot easier for me to get rid of all of those in just a moment. So now I'm going to say offset. Perfect offset. I'm going to say apply. And then all I need to do is to get these guys off of here. I'm done with them. And this is all I need now. So when I go to send, that's exactly what's going to cut. Okay, I'm going to try to do this a little bit of a split screen so you can see. So this is the piece that, remember, first of all, what I did was I just printed a blank sheet with the registration marks. Then I took the same sheet and I took my rubber stamp and I stamped all the various stamps I wanted. I just used the same one. Obviously, you can do all different kind of stamps on here, right? And then I scan this in with my scanner, and then I opened it up in Silhouette. And at that time, I followed those other steps so I could make the offset that you see on my screen right now. So there's no offset showing on this. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this into my machine, and what's going to cut is only the offset around here. It's almost kind of magical in my opinion. All right, so I'm ready to cut. So I got to make sure I put this on here well, have it a little crooked. And I need to make sure that I always put this solid black square up in the upper left-hand corner of my mat, just like it shows here on my virtual mat. So now I'm just going to press this into place. And I've already said send. And I could just say cut edge if I want to. I'm going to up my knife depth because I need to for my old blade that I have. I'll go ahead and put this in to my machine, and it'll get to read the registration marks. Okay, I've put it in. I'm going to say send. And this, since I have an updated version of this always comes up. I just say yes and ignore it. Must be a little glitch they need to fix. But right now it's reading the registration marks. And within a jiffy, it should be done cutting these. So if you'll notice over here on my screen, it does give a rough idea of how long it's going to take to cut this. Okay, it's finished, so I will eject the mat and bring it over here, and let's see what we have. Perfectly cut. Whoopsie, my mat's sticking over there, or my cardstock is because I put some tape over here. Look at these, they're perfect, very perfect. So that's how easy it is to be able to use all of your rubber stamps. You no longer have to buy, you see the set that I'm using today, I got this from it was in a magazine, and it came with these die cuts already there. But you know how many times you've wanted to buy these die cuts, and they're expensive. But now I'm showing you, you just have to use this. You don't even have to use those die cuts. Never buy them again. Just do it just like this. So that really makes this software so worth it. So I hope you've enjoyed what I've been able to show you today. Look at all these different ones that I'm going to color with my markers. And let me get my markers out right quick. These are the markers that I've been using. They're a lot cheaper. I'm not an affiliate or anything, but they're a lot cheaper than the ones that other people use. And I got these to sample them and try them and do a little demo for you guys. So these are the ones I'm going to use on these. And let's just try one to see how well this is going to work. Let me get out a pretty color or two. Not sure why I'm picking greens. Oh well. So let's just see how this is going to work. So I guess I'd put yellow in the center and maybe the darker green. And I like these markers because you can tell which is the skinny end. The fine tip end has this little line around it, and the broad tip pen side has nothing. So I can just pull it apart like that, and I automatically know that I have the fine tip end. So I'm just going to kind of go out here from here. Anyway, so this is just how you can do this, and you can do this with sentiments, all kinds of stuff. And I think it's a fabulous way to save money. So I hope you enjoy my videos. If you do, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm really trying to get to 30,000 subscribers, so if you could help me by sharing this and telling people about my videos, I'd sure appreciate it. Again, the links are down below for different products that I like to use, in addition to the software that I use. And I appreciate it a lot when you use those too, because it helps me to be able to buy things so that I can keep this going and have the money for samples to make for you. So thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you again very soon.